You work at Donut Media as well. How did you get that gig? Where did that journey begin?
That actually was super random. I wasn't looking for it and it came out of nowhere. It was just a friend that like called me. Started as a shop manager. Now I'm the shop director and the technical producer. So whatever you see as far as automotive that gets done on the car, I'll take care of it. So all the modifications, getting the cars, getting the parts, getting the professionals that need to install it if we need like outside help, getting it towed, anything you see like on the practical side, that's me. So creative is like, hey, we want to do this, and I'll be like, all right, well, let's see if I can figure it out or whatever.
Hey guys, welcome back to Talk Motorsport Show. I'm Rahul, researcher here at GMG. Joining us today, we have
Gavin. I'm back. I am the merchandising guy. I do that, and I do all e-commerce stuff. But we're not here to talk about me. We got a special guest here with us today.
Mr. Adam Knapik, all the way from the States.
Sheesh.
Hey man, how you doing?
Doing good, man. It's what time is it over there? It's 6 for me over here.
It's 11:15 in the morning. We're in the AM, so we good.
Quarter past 11.
Oh, you just starting. All right.
Yes, sir. Yo, let's get straight into it. So, tell us about yourself, Adam. For those who don't know you, what's your story? Like, what's your come-up story?
I guess I didn't come from like a family of racing or a family of wealth, and it just kind of became a hobby turned obsession. It actually all started with like, you guys know what GoPeds are?
Yeah.
GoPed.
Yeah, GoPeds are the motorized scooters, right? So all my friends got one for Christmas, and then my parents got me one too, but it was electric. And back then, electric was whack. I think 8 miles an hour. So I had to buy my own. It ended up breaking down. I would work on the motor, kind of like mess with it, tune it up and everything. And that kind of got me introduced to like motors and just some sort of speed. I was like 14, 15 years old. So then, yeah, I just started getting obsessed with cars. I got my license at 15. And just from there, like it just kept going. So I used to want to be a mechanical engineer, and then I just found out that that's more of like a desk jockey than anything. So
yeah.
I'm more of like a hands guy. Yeah. So I ended up working on the car, found out that it's fun to work on. And then when I put new parts on it faster, and I ended up liking the speed more. And so that just kind of kept perpetuating itself to where it is now. So I started out young and dumb, doing it on the street, thinking I was cool, but then progressed into going to the canyons, and then from there was like I just had an epiphany or whatever you want to call it. But I was like, if I kill myself, that's my choice. But if like I turn a corner and I hit someone and I kill someone, like that's rough. Like they're just going to work or something.
Yeah, exactly. I totally feel that, and we have that thing all the time. It's like, all right, cool. It's like if you're in the back streets, you're in the mountains, you're in the canyons, and you're ripping it, yeah. But if it's like 5 p.m. and there's traffic going through, it's like can't really respect it, But if it's like 2 in the morning, absolutely no one. The only person you're gonna hurt is yourself, your car, and some poor tow truck driver that's gonna get a call out. Then I feel like that's a lot better. It's more digestible that way.
It for sure is. Like, and to be fair, during the day, I hate all the street takeover stuff that's happening and everything. It's just like when we did it, it was like you said, it was 1, 2, 3 in the morning. We'd go up, and we even had like radios and try to make it like as safe as possible at the top and the bottom of where we'd run.
Yeah, exactly. So, and you guys weren't too close to any sort of like residential areas where like even if you were to go off the mountain, you're just gonna go through some dude's fence and into the back of his house into his pool or something like that. Like I highly doubt that would be the case. But like, and whereas now it's like, let's find the biggest intersection with the least amount of potholes with the most amount of foot traffic. It's like, that's the place.
Exactly.
Like I'm trying to get to work, man.
Yeah. Dude, that's the thing, right? We're out on the street, you can't really be sliding out on the street pretty much. Right? And then that's when like I got introduced to the track. I'm like, hey, go out to the track, prep. It's a little bit of prep money, getting there. But once you're there, they're all there, and you can run tires all day. So that, going off that, how did you start drifting? When was your like first track day? When did you first get into that world?
So like I said, just one day I was just like, I'm not going to do the canyon anymore because I'm like a competitive person. And I think I was talking to, do you guys remember Ross Petty?
No. Who's he?
He was old school drifter from back in the day. Did Formula D. He had like the Rasta car. It was a S15. He's a super cool guy. He had a shop here in Southern California, and I was like talking to him, and I was like really young, so I was eager to talk to any pro. I wanted to like climb the ranks. What can I do? So I'm just trying to be friends with him. I'm like, yo, you should hit the canyons with us. And in my mind, it's like, you know, when you watch a movie, you can impress someone and then you could become a professional race car driver.
Yeah, like, let me take him to the canyons and show him my skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like so naive. And I was like, yeah, dude, come on. And he, you know, he was an established professional. And he kind of was like, yeah, that's cool, man. And he wasn't like mean about it. But I was like, oh, like, the canyon doesn't really matter. It's fun, that's great, but you know, you can't be like, oh, I'm good at the canyon. That's cool, but there's no numbers, there's no data to it, and I'm a competitive person. Yeah. So when you go to the track, like if you set a record or do whatever, that's there, that's cemented forever, and you could point at it. So I really liked that part of it. So I just started going to open track days, and just started getting quicker and quicker. Getting to know the car, the track, and if people knew it or not, I was trying to race them. I would go look at the times, and I'd be like, "Who am I getting? Like, who can I go quicker than?" And then entered into some like amateur competitions for time attack stuff.
Yep.
And then I actually wanted to be. I come from traditional racing, so I actually wanted to be like a wheel-to-wheel racer.
Yeah.
And I still would love to, but that takes a ton of money and influence. So
a lot.
So. Yeah, and so basically drifting was really new, and so at the time it was relatively inexpensive. And I was like, you know what? I'll do this, and I'll get my pro license so I could say that I'm a professional driver, and then maybe I could segue that somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of spiraled out of control from there. But it kind of worked out in some sense. Like, you know, I was doing, I ended up being a Porsche driver instructor for over 3.5 years. I was racing for a Porsche team for 2 years, and then doing Formula D, you know, and drifting is like the stigma back then is like, oh, you're not a race car driver. That's just sliding around. That's cute. Yeah. But now it's like built up a really big momentum. So yeah, for sure. So that's what's cool is, I mean, you look at all commercials, man, they're all sliding the car because it's the most exciting thing to do.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. And when you first were going to these open days, did you have to go out and buy yourself a real drive or did you already have one?
So I just used my my daily. It was actually a 240 S14.
S14. Oh, very nice. We love those.
Yeah. So I would just drive it to the track and then drive it around and drive home. Hopefully nothing happened. I blew like a transmission once and then like had to call a tow truck company and they like towed it all the way back. All this stuff.
That's crazy, man.
Just like the normal stuff.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine driving the S14 to the track and back. You know, breaks almost every time. But well, did you have an SR20 KA? Because you guys got the KA motors in the States.
Well, yeah, we had the KA. Yeah, we had the KA, and so like for a while I was using that, and then I progressed and actually just got like a really good deal on an SR. So I was like, oh, I'll just do this.
Sick.
And so I swapped the SR in, and then it was all stock. Enjoyed it, and then. Again, just kind of like the progression, right? So started modifying it more and more, blew it up a couple times. And then in the end, the SR in its full, like intense time attack trim was 650 horsepower SR. So it's pretty solid.
Ooh, that's super. Was it all incremental though? Like you kind of like did everything incremental and then kept driving and then kept doing it more and more and more? Because like, I kind of wish that was the way I did my own build. Like, I went through a situation where I was super into time attack and I want to get into it, but I fully built the car before, like, my driver mod was, like, up par with how fast the car was. Does that make any sense? And so, you know, with the 355 being super quick already, I was already like, all right, cool. I understand the car stock. I'm just going to build it. Realizing that you just lose the car for 10 months to some shop that's just going to fully build it, come back, complete different machine. And then you're just like, I'm actually an awful driver. This car's way faster than how I drive.
Dude, yeah. That reminds me to like even, you know, people that are around me that are getting into this stuff and they're doing their builds and they're like, oh, I'm going to do this and this and this. And I'm going to wait
they get
so
fully
long.
into the
and
parts,
I'm like, no, dude, just like go as is, get as much seat time as you can. And then, you know, go that route instead of the other way.
100%. Yeah. I think that's right.
For
Like,
sure.
I wish I kind of invested the money into more seat time and spending more money into like going to open events and stuff rather than just pouring all the funds into the car that you realize I'm probably gonna break this thing a couple of times anyway.
Yeah, totally.
Like,
And
it's gonna happen.
You're just having more fun quicker. And say you're doing a big build, halfway through you can't finish it, and then you sell the build. You see those all the time.
All
on
the time.
marketplace.
Yeah,
It's like-
exactly. But for you,
Yeah, people
when
get
you
burnt out for them way too much, you know.
Yeah,
And so,
super
like,
quickly.
You gotta almost like remember why you're building this car. It's to have
100%.
fun with it. It's
Yeah.
to drive it. So
Mm.
I always did it incrementally. I'm not saying the car wasn't down for a little bit, you know, but
Yeah.
I didn't go crazy. It was a KA, and then it just kind of kept ramping up, and then after the SR, we did a stock LS motor, and then from there, kind of just kept going more and more. So
Yeah. Your local tracks, were they close to you? Like when you were going to these open days, were you traveling really far?
Not really. I mean, honestly, in Southern California, we're pretty spoiled. So
Okay.
if you are willing to drive anywhere from like, let's say 6 to 8 hours, you'll hit like 4 to 5 tracks at least.
Okay.
And some
Yeah.
like known tracks. We're talking Laguna Seca,
Okay, yeah.
Chuckwalla, Willow Springs, Button Willow.
Yeah.
There's a lot, Fontana Speedway. So it was a good amount of tracks. So.
Must be hella competitive. I gotta know, like, what do you recall? I mean, it must have been a long time ago. Like, what was your PB for some of these tracks?
Man, I don't remember. I'm really bad at that actually. When people ask me, I have to like Google it.
Yeah. You got like a
Willow-
screenshot of the end of the day, like, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, that's me. Also, like times keep dropping every single year,
They do,
and they're just
yeah.
like tire technology gets crazy,
Yep.
and people get way more into it and all that stuff. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. I think Button Willow, I did like a 142.
Yep.
I was racing. That was in the Porsche, and then I think Big Willow. If you guys know that track, that I think I did like a 120 or a 121, somewhere around there. But again, those numbers don't mean anything if people don't really like know the track, you know.
Sure.
But it's fun.
This I heard somewhere the S14, your first car, is still the same chassis you're driving today. Is that true?
That's not true. Really close, but like that's the car that got me to get my license. And then the first year of FD, we ended up building a new chassis, but it's still S14. So a lot of those parts got transferred over into that car, and it became the FD car. So it's like most of it, yeah. But it was a shame. I had to like chop it up, throw
Damn.
it away.
Oh, dude.
That would have been cool though.
Well,
Imagine.
did you try to save it? Like, oh, you're like, shit, dude, this is my first car, man. Like, I'm gonna do like something
Oh, yeah.
salvage it to like, even if it's just like not even street, like just as like a nostalgia piece in the garage. Like, but there
I
was
tried
just,
to. I wanted to really badly, and I held on to it for so long, and I kept bouncing it from location to location. And like I just don't have the room for it.
Yeah.
Like, that we don't have that much land over here.
yeah,
What's actually pretty funny is like I stripped the whole car down and then sold the chassis for like $500 or something, super cheap. Just
yeah,
I was like, just get it out of here. And then like maybe like months later, I was like, man, I shouldn't have done that. Oh well, it's like you said, nostalgic. Like, man, it'd be cool to rebuild that car.
Yeah.
Maybe have it as a demo car or whatever. And then as like time goes by, like a year and a half, and I messaged the guy. I'm like, hey, did you like ever do anything with the car? I'm just curious. He's like, oh no, this guy has it now, but I think he's like junking it next week. And I'm like, wait, what?
What the
So I
fuck?
hit him up, and he's like, yeah, I'm moving. I need to get rid of it. If you want, you can come pick it up. So I went and picked it back up and did the same thing. Held the chassis for a while. It bounced around from location to location, just being stored, and I just didn't have the means to be able to like do anything with it. So it was sad to chop it up.
I mean, it's tough, right? Because like you ultimately got what you wanted at the end of the day, right? Like, you got the pro car, you get to do it for the job, and it's just like, you know, I mean, it's good memories it'd definitely be an added bonus to definitely keep, but I guess like if you just don't have the time or the means to build, like just to build something like that, then it's probably better just to let it go at this point. Like bouncing from storage to storage, dude. Like, yeah, I know that feeling, dude. Like we're both dealing with that right now. We both have cars in other countries, and we're just like back home in New Zealand, and we just have like family, friends, asking friends mutual to like, yo, can you hold our car for like 2 weeks while we never come back to the country?
Dude, yeah. In the last 3 months, I have an S14 as well back home and in New Zealand, and I'm trying to get that over here into Australia. So is Gavin. He's got an E46, and
Just
I
waiting
think
for 25 years. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's legal to ship here next year. So we're
Next
gonna
year,
try to do 2 cars, 1 container, and then that way we don't have
Sick.
a bunch of random other people's stuff in the container.
Yeah, I've just seen how people ship stuff from the containers, and I'm like, dude, there's just no way that I'm gonna put my car in with all that other shit. Like, but I'm also too much of a poor person to like ball out and be like, yeah, I'm just gonna get a full container for my $5,000 E46, bro. Like, no, it's so no way. But like, I don't know what's going on with the car market, but a manual E46 should not be touching 20,000 Australian dollars. That's like 16, 17K US with 200,000 kilometers on, like, and it's sold over the weekend. I'm like, this thing's silver, bro. Like, it's not even like, it's nothing special. And I'm like, I gotta get this E46 over because I paid like way too much little money for, and like, could just sell it here, but I would probably just end up enjoying it, to be honest, I think.
Yeah, that's real bad, man. The Euro tax, the JDM tax here is so bad.
We have, yeah.
That's wild.
But would you rather have the tax and like be able to have these cars brand new, or deal with like, you know what these guys are going through, and now all you see YouTubers is just punching out like all the 25-year-old cars. Like, okay, the 34's coming out now, everyone's doing 34s now, you know? So like, I think it's bittersweet. We have a tax, but like we got to enjoy these cars as like, you know, 16, 17-year-old teenagers buying these cars for $5,000, $6,000, $7,000.
So yeah, I think about it. I'm like,
you don't actually think about that, right? Like,
they're like kids nowadays, like coming out of high school and stuff, you know, and
trying to spend 40, 50K on an SR.
That's crazy.
Bro.
They won't get to experience it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man. Like the SR and RB taxes that are going on here is actually insane right now. But that's because thanks to you guys, you know, you guys are becoming legalized for it, and we're a great place for you guys to buy our cars, our 34s, our 33s. Because look, think about it, like we're not giving you rust. We speak English, and I feel like the buying and selling side of things would be a lot easier, right? You don't have to pay for some translator in Japan and all that other stuff, and some dude to help
middleman.
Yeah, the middleman help you auction and everything. Yeah, dude, that would suck. So, what are you driving right now?
As far as like a daily?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's not fun. That's a 2001 Honda Accord that I bought.
Does that humble you driving to and from work though?
I mean, you know, it gets me to where I need to go, and I don't know. I just, my eyes are on the prize, so to speak. Like I just dump it all into the pro car and whatever. So, do I want a nice car? Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Have I been looking? I'm like kind of considering like maybe I'll get a loan out.
Yeah.
I just finished paying off my truck, so I was like,
damn,
maybe, but it's nice not to have payments, you know?
Yeah,
so, I don't know.
Dude, sleeping at night, like debt-free, like no mortgage, no credit card coming at you, you're just like living on debit and just cash, like, you're not living on much, but you sleep so good at night, dude. I'm just like,
absolutely, man.
Feels good.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. What would you look for in a daily? You know, some people have families, they're like, oh, you know, I want something cool, but a daily as well, like a wagon or something.
You actually nailed it. I'd want a wagon because they're like, I think they look super sick. I love like the way they look.
Yeah.
Especially you lower that thing. Oh, yeah. It's so good.
Right.
And then I like for work, I drive a lot in traffic. So if I'm honest, I would get an automatic. And something with adaptive cruise control so that I can just like hit that and let it just control it. Because when you're in traffic for an hour and a half of like solid stop and go, your foot starts cramping up and you're like, dude, what is happening?
Yeah, that was where I up at. Like I was in LA for 3 months and I was like, I'm just gonna tour a Jeep Wrangler because like you guys have, honestly, dude, I've never seen roads so bad until I was in California, and I'm like, dude. And you know what's crazier? I come back a year later and the same pothole is still there. I mean, I'm just that weird guy that just wants to get the same Airbnb in the same side because I just am familiar with that side. And I'm like, this pothole is still here and nothing ever gets changed. And the other thing too is it's like the freeway on the left lane, they got this like carpool lane or sometimes it's not. but the concrete barrier, dude, that is like, it's like centimeters away from you. Whereas like over here in Australia, we have like another fake like emergency lane, but then there's a barrier. So like you're never driving really close to a barrier, but like when you get to just start and stop traffic, it's probably the worst. Like I literally had the worst. Like got to the point where like I drove with Crocs because that was like the most comfortable thing for me. It was just sitting in traffic just sucked. Like there's just nothing pleasant about it.
The roads here aren't super great. So LA, we're like decently lucky in Southern California, but like if you go to like Chicago or anywhere with like tons of weather and stuff, it's just terrible.
Damn, yeah, dude.
The roads are bad.
Dude, this reminds me of like, you know, I tell myself, yeah, man, I could be in any country. I'll enjoy driving anywhere. Until I got to Asian countries. When I was in India, God, dude. You know, I jumped out the plane. I'm at the airport. My cousin's picking me up, and what was it? He's in a little Suzuki, like, it was like a little toaster-looking thing, you know.
Is it like a Suzuki that's only sold in the Indian market?
Yeah,
it must be one of those.
And I was like, give me the keys, man. I'm keen to drive. Dude, 10 minutes in, I'm like, no, take over, dude. I'm not ready for this, dude. It's crazy. This is how I describe it. Places like that, like really populated places.
But they drive on the wrong side of the road at the
same time. Yeah. There is no wrong side of the road. Every side is the right side. How I describe it is a racetrack designed for 100 people, but there's like 1,000 people on there trying to get to the finish line at the same time. And you just do what you want. You just go, and if you're near someone, you just beep your horn to let them know you're near them. And so like it's insane. Have you been to any Asian country? Have you driven like in any Asian countries?
Yeah, so I did. Well, Japan is really nice and organized and all that, although some of their roads get kind of intense, like the back roads and stuff.
How narrow they get?
Especially with, super narrow. And then I'm just not used to like driving on the left side. So that kind of threw me off also. Because out there they drive on the left side, right?
They drive on the right. We drive on the left. Yeah.
We drive on the left? Yeah, we do drive on the left. Yeah.
Left.
This is why I shouldn't be driving. Dude's like, shoot, was I driving the wrong way the whole time?
Man, I almost killed someone. Like, I killed a lot of people almost. But yeah, no, I've been to Japan and then also Bali. When I went to Bali, it was madness, like what you were explaining. Yeah. Like, there's no rules or law. There's people
flying red lights,
bikes everywhere.
Yeah.
Lights are
irrelevant
to them. They're kind of like, it's suggestive. They're like,
literally. Yeah.
It's like, and they're like driving on the sidewalk. I'm like, what? That's not a thing.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So, Bali was a real shocker to me too, I think.
I haven't been, man. I haven't been.
Dude, it's you probably just want to stay in the resort, bro. just chill in the resort. You don't want to go.
It looks good on Instagram.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of like going to Jamaica or something like that. Yeah. You just stay in the resort.
Dude,
and that's it.
Another thing was like seatbelts. I remember jumping into a car full of people, and this was in India again. And you know, muscle memory. Pull my seatbelt over, click, and you usually hear like click, click, click. Everyone else, but I was the only one. I'm like, are you guys not gonna put your seatbelt on? Like, you don't have to here, bro. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, that was the thing in Taiwan as well. Actually, same thing. If you front seat drivers have to put seatbelts and back seats don't.
Right. Yeah, I remember like the Uber driver would.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I'm like,
that's wild.
I don't know whether I like. Is it because like the technology of cars have gotten really good that if we crash without a seatbelt, I'm still good? Or is it like you're just overpopulated and they're just needing more people to die? It's like, why is there like a known, like, no seatbelt? Like, I don't get it. So like,
law enforcement, I guess, this is not as it is enforced. Like, there are places, you know, there is checkpoints, you do get fined for it, but it's like 9 out of 10 times you'll be right.
Yeah. How is law enforcement in Southern California for car enthusiasts? Or even you guys, just daily operation and stuff, like, has it ever been really an issue? Modifying cars, like, you guys got that smog stuff.
Yeah, especially California.
Yeah.
So
it's getting real bad.
A lot of smog. It's really bad. I mean, by 2035, there's not allowed to be any gasoline-powered new cars being sold, which is wild.
That's crazy. And that's like, I feel like that might affect the automotive market to an extent. I mean, I feel like California itself buys like imports and purchases is quite a lot of volume. So like, is automakers also like going like, oh, we're gonna try and go EV by 2035 because since you guys are implementing that rule, is other states gonna implement the same rule or other countries gonna implement that same rule as well? But like,
Yeah.
do you think that's even a possibility, like infrastructural wise? Like,
No,
look
like,
at
really,
EV look at the EV charging situation right now. Like, bro, like there's never a free EV. I mean, when I was in Cali, that's the reason why I never wanted to get a Tesla. Like, I've always wanted to like rent out a Tesla and like experience it, but like just waiting in line for a charge is just that doesn't sit right with me, you know.
I used to be
the infrastructure isn't there.
Yeah.
I used to be a roadside rescue tech, and they were testing out like LDV EV van for the first time, and I was like the guinea pig. So, dude, I'm out here, I'm getting calls. I need to get out to these people and rescue them, and I'm like, oh no, I need to charge, and get to the station, and there's someone charging. And it's like, oh, it was the worst idea. Yeah, man.
Dude, I would have hated roadside assistant. That job just screams shitty to me.
Oh, dude. Oh, it's pretty busy when I like anything when it's busy. The day goes quick, and you're back home, and it's all good.
That's facts.
Yeah, Adam, man. So your delivery on your car changed from donut media, the orange donut media on the donut on the side, and now it's got this super cool graffiti look. How did you come up with that idea, dude? Where was the inspiration for that?
I really wish I could say that it was like me or something, but we actually give it to a designer, and his name is David. I'll look him up on Instagram. You should check him out though. He makes sick liveries, and he kind of has like an old school vibe on a lot of them, and that's why the car looks like a little different than how like the rest of the field kind of has their livery and stuff.
I was about to say that. Yeah, it really stands up, but not in a bad way too. It's like really, it's just really refreshing, to see a livery like that. Because I was like, dude, that's actually so sick. I want a livery on my car, even though it's like,
Dude, I think it's probably one of my favorite liveries, just because of how different it is.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I love it. I like last year the same guy designed it, and then I was like, I don't know if we're gonna top this, and then he pulled that out, and I was like, damn, that's sick. Like, and the rendering looked even cooler. So I was like, oh man. And what sucks is so you know how the RTR team has like those discs in the back?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's like really that's like their thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so the irony is like we got that livery delivered to us like a week before the actual reveal of the RTR team. So I was like, and it had discs in the back. We're gonna do those like discs that look, and I was like, I was all about it because it was a cool throwback to like the rally days and
exactly.
Stuff. Say hell yeah, and then they came out with it, and I was like, well, I can't now because now it's gonna look like we copied it.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well.
Did you? Oh, you know what you should have done? Oh, bro, for me, it's like you gotta keep your receipts, bro. You should have picked up the livery, taken a photo on iPhone with a timestamp, and be like, yo, I got my fucking receipts, dude. I fucking did this a week before, bro.
You guys don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you guys don't know what they're talking about, bro. Who here is leaking our shit to RTR? You're asking the V, he's like, yo, are you leaking our shit?
Dude, seriously. And I was like bummed because I thought that'd be super cool, unique, and then here they are.
Dude, I mean, like, did you still do it just so you can see it yourself, or like you didn't want to be like, nah, I don't want to do it, and then it'll look cool, and then I know that I really can't do it, and it's gonna suck even more.
Yeah, I just was like, nah, I'm good. I don't even want.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's theirs now. They own it.
Yeah, I mean, at least it wasn't already out, and then you're like, fuck, now I have to like take it off because you guys were doing it beforehand, and you got that awkward walk of shame that you gotta peel this thing back. It's like, at least no one's seen it in the first place, so everyone, including us, just assumed that the delivery that you just came out with, that's just how it is,
Yeah, for sure.
It's on the trailer, pulling it off.
Nah.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah. Aside from your first S chassis, did you ever own any other cars? Did you ever regret selling or parting ways with?
A good amount, yeah.
Yeah, damn.
I had an A86 Corolla. It was black on black hatch, super low mileage, manual, power steering, air conditioning. And I had to like sell that off because it was during like the recession over here. So I was out of a job and I was just buying and selling cars.
Yep.
And then I found this one for crazy good deal. I mean, I think I bought it for like $1,000.
That's insane.
Dude.
Yeah, and
What?
it needed work. Yeah, because he crashed it
Okay.
and he hit a pole, like not
Straight
a big
on?
pole, like a little metal pole. No, just kind of like on the fender.
Oh,
And
okay.
it just knocked over, hit the hood and messed the fender up a little,
Yeah.
and then he broke his steering axle.
Okay.
His steering knuckle. And so
Okay.
then he kind of like gave up, didn't know about cars.
Okay.
I happened to find it at the right time and I went and bought it. I literally like didn't even have a truck and trailer. I just like went over there and like paid him, got the pink slip. I was like, all right, cool. And he's like, so like, are you gonna pick it? Are you gonna take it? And I was like, yeah, I'll get it like tomorrow. Is it cool if I leave it? So like,
I would come back with my friend who has a
left
trailer. Yeah. Dude, that would have been a really good flip, actually. But like,
it was.
I
I made us a solid profit.
yeah, I mean, like, was there much that you had to put into it? Like, did the chassis have to get realigned or anything, or was it really just cosmetic? Or
All
bolt-ons?
cosmetic. I probably put like $1,000 into it.
Dude, you
So-
definitely walked home clean with that.
That's insane, man.
That was a good one.
86ers here go for like
Yeah.
a road league one, like 50,000 AUD minimum.
Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
40 something US. Yeah, it's pretty steep.
So insane.
Yeah.
What they go for.
What is the market for A86 there right now?
So, man, I keep seeing, like, if you see them in original GTS,
Yeah.
beat up, rust, couple parts on there, like 20 to 30 grand
Ugh,
US.
That's steep. That's like
Yeah.
E9X M3 money, literally. Yeah. Damn, dude, that's crazy for a Corolla as well.
That's-
That's
It's
that's
rough.
crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, I can't really say. I think we would assume that the price would drop because you guys got that new Corolla, that wide, massive wide body looking thing. But
The
that
GR
car,
Corolla?
yeah, the GR Corolla. But that and the A86 has nothing to do with each other. They're fucking two different cars. They're not even the same breed. But
Yeah. Nowhere close.
yeah, but I'm super sad that we don't get the GR Corolla. I feel like in anywhere else outside the US, I think that car would do really killer. Like,
Do we not get it here?
no, we have the GR Yaris though.
Oh, that's what it is, a Yaris.
Yeah, we got the Yaris. Yeah, I mean, I guess like in terms of other car flips during COVID and stuff, since I was keeping you going, what else did you flip around? Because like I think for a lot of car guys here too, that's actually what kept us afloat during COVID as well. Like I was fortunate enough to buy a brand new Jimny, and they were just going for astronomical money. I think the brand new price was like 35 drive away, and people were selling them for like 50 straight away. And I sold mine for roughly the same amount of price, but I put 18,000 kilometers in it, and I sold it for more than what I bought it for.
Sort of for more.
So I put
wow.
I put K's. I bought this. I'm like anti buy brand new car kind of guy, but I did some research on this car. I was like, okay, this car's gonna go up like astronomical because like all the overlanders and whatever, they're gonna love this car. Unfortunately, you guys don't get the Jimny though, which is really sad. Dude, you would love that car, dude. You guys would love that shit. Like, there's nothing more enjoyable than like going flat foot in like a 1,000-kilo toaster box, and you feel the wind. Like you're on the freeway, and this thing tops out at like 85 miles. All right, this thing is not quick. It's a brand new car. You're going 70 miles, and the whole chassis is just shaking and creaking. You just hear wind, bro. It's so bad. It's like it doesn't feel safe, but it's safe. But it's like, yeah. And the fact that it was selling for like astronomical money, I was like, nah, I gotta get rid of it. But it's probably the one car I do regret like not having in my fleet, because it's like I got dogs and stuff. And if you see how the Jimny's built, you can actually buy like a genuine rare tray delete for the whole back. And I got this massive dog bed at the back, and they just like sit back there. They got all the windows that they can see. They're f***ing chilling, and I'm like, damn,
They're living
dude.
life, man.
Literally, and I'm like, damn, dude, this would be so sick. And then it's pretty much like if a Bronco was like 50% smaller. Actually, no, I like 80% smaller. I'd say the Bronco's huge.
Broncos are massive, man.
Yeah, Broncos are massive. Like,
So That's why these wagons are good. You have the dogs in the back.
Yeah, like the tires is a
Right.
It's a 195 factory. So like,
That's
That's
thick.
tiny.
dude, that's tiny, bro. A 195? Yeah, that's like no. That's like not safe. Yeah. First thing I did was like the BF Goodrich all terrains. Like at least that gave it like a bit more like contact patch.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Adam, man. So, you work at Donut Media as well. How did you get that gig? Where did that journey begin, man?
That actually was super random. I wasn't looking for it, and it came out of nowhere. It was just a friend that like called me. So I was like, before COVID hit, I was like super focused on being a stunt driver.
Yep.
And I was like working in the movie business. I was doing like a couple movies, driving for them, everything. COVID hit, obviously everything shut down. And then when it started kind of picking back up, I was actually on set. And then my buddy Dan Brockett, I don't know if you guys ever heard of him, goes by Officer Dan. He does like
Officer
No
Dan.
Coast Bash here on the States. Yeah. And so he texted me. He's like, hey man, Donut's looking for like somebody to fill this position. At the time, it was just garage manager, and this is what they're going to be doing. Do you know anyone that would be interested? And I wrote him back because I was on set. I was like, oh, I might, and I meant like I might know someone. And he's like, oh, that's great. Yeah, like that'd be great. You're pretty close. It's not too far for you. And if they put you on camera, you're okay on camera. And I was like,
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I do
meant
need a
someone,
job.
not me.
He's like, I might. So I was gonna help my friend, but that guy.
yeah,
I'm gonna save myself.
Oh, dude, that's cool. What
So-
was so?
and that's how I got it.
That's crazy, man. So you were on. Do you know what movies? What movies were there that you were on? Stuntmaning.
So like just to be clear, there's precision driving and stunt driving, and so I was doing precision, and precision's just like driving in the background, or you're the cars that people are weaving around and stuff.
Mhm.
And so I was trying to get into stunts, and that business is cutthroat. So
Really?
if you think it's hard to be an actor, imagine. And I was really specific. I only wanted to be a stunt driver, and I didn't want to do crashes
Okay.
or flips. I just
Yeah.
want to like how Tanner Faust kind of does it, Sam
Yeah.
Hubinette, Matt Powers, how they kind of do that.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
I want to
If
see
you
my
look at all
adulthood.
commercials, yeah. If you see all commercials, like maybe 10 to 15 people drive every single commercial you see. It's insane. It's
Really?
a small
Damn.
community. Yeah.
But then I feel like if you get in,
So-
you must be raking in some decent coin. So like, there's that factor
Yeah,
too.
you
But
do
like, how
commercial
long?
work.
Yeah, but how long are you gonna like spend your time trying to get in? Like years after year after, like just what scrape the bottom of the barrel to potentially get like a maybe or like a one gig and then one and done. Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what happened was like, I was doing the precision stuff just to get on set,
Mhm.
to see what it's like, to make some money and see if I can make some contacts.
Yeah.
And then, then COVID, and you weren't allowed to talk to people, and everyone's wearing a mask.
Yep.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Dude, COVID was a crazy time, dude. But I will say though, like, I felt like COVID also did me some wonders as well, cause everything was shut. I was like, alright, cool. Like, I can build a car now and shit for 6 months. You know what I mean? Like, that's generally what happened. Like when COVID was done, and the first car show that was like public, like a public car show. I'm like, Dad, dude, like, this did not look like that. Like 3-4 months ago, you can just see like everyone just pouring hours and hours into like their vehicles and stuff, which like I'm pretty glad we had. Like it was like a really good coping mechanism. Like I looked at my partner, she doesn't really have like too many hobbies and stuff like that, and so like for someone like her it took her like quite a decent amount of time to get herself entertained and stuff. But nah, I was entertained every day, bro. It was great. Living my best life.
Yeah. So when you joined Donut, and what was your like first role there when you started as your shop manager? Yeah.
Yeah, I started as a shop manager. Now I'm the shop director and the technical producer. So whatever you see as far as automotive that gets done on the car, I'll take care of it. So all the modifications, getting the cars, getting the parts, getting the professionals that need to install it if we need like outside help. getting it towed. Anything you see like on the practical side, that's me. So creative is like, hey, we want to do this, and I'll be like, all right, well, let's see if I can figure it out or whatever. But when I first started, it was just literally just a garage manager, and it was just to like set up their garage, because when I walked in there, it was just an empty box with random tables and stuff. And Donut wasn't known for doing like practical builds. They were known for floating talking head stuff, green screen.
Yeah.
So they had their,
actually. Yeah.
So when they started, they were like, all right, yeah, we'll get the shop. And they got the shop, and it was kind of during COVID. So it was kind of like a lot of stuff going on at one time. So they're like, finally, they're like, we need somebody to like set shop up. And so that's what I did.
How long did these builds actually take though? Because obviously you guys would release like a build series, and you guys would release on a set day weekly. But dude, there's no way you guys would build them in just weeks. Yeah, like there's obviously a lot going on behind the scenes and stuff, and obviously some of these builds must have taken a really, really, really long time. Like, we won't get into the Subaru one, but some of the other ones that you guys have done, like those ones, like how long did they actually take you to actually film before that you guys were rolling them out dropping them weekly series? Like, were you guys like, okay, we're going to release the series now, but the cars has already been done like 3 months ago?
Oh no. That like we built, depends on the scale of the build as well.
Yeah.
And like when we did the V8s and the 350Zs,
yeah,
that was pretty large, a pretty large one. Like the shoot was probably like a week or so, a week and a half.
Yeah.
Like and then we'll release it in like 2 or 3 weeks. So our turnaround time is insane.
That's actually a really crazy turnaround time. Damn, so like, damn, you must be plugged up for the parts because this is like these parts just coming in left, right, and center. Must be super quick. Yeah, it must be hella quick.
And you
it's kind of cool because
the crazy stuff. I mean, you must get crazy requests. Like you've seen Donut Media videos, and it's like the craziest videos, and you're like, okay, I got to put this together, like
in a week. Like, that's actually really fun. Like you just have every single part that you've ever wanted for the car. You just get to build it then and there.
Exactly.
Like, that to me,
it's not my money, so
exactly.
I get to feel that dopamine rush of like
exactly.
Or I'm like buying spoon brakes and a Type R motor.
Yeah.
And like
yeah.
Individual throttle bodies.
You're like express shipping, of course. Next day,
we need it. Yeah, let's go.
Same day delivery, extra $3,000. Why not? Add it to the car, bro.
Go for it. But yeah, no, it's pretty wild. I love it, man. It's a lot of fun. We get to build some cool stuff.
Yeah, so. I mean, at least you get to clock in every single day. And it's like you're not doing the same build. Like, you could one day you're doing 350, the next day you're doing a V8, the next day you're doing the E36 or something. And I think that's probably like a super major bonus of that job. Like, every day just going something different. Like, how can you like be mad at your job?
I think it's good when you wake up and you're not dreading going to work. It's like.
And how's Donut in terms of like your like racing career? Like, are they super supportive with it? Are they trying to help you get to where you want to be?
Yeah, they're super okay with, like, first of all, the fact that I can afford 5 weeks off of work is awesome anywhere I go. So they've been super cool about that. Obviously, like, now that the car is fully Donut branded, they're super cool with it.
Yep.
They sell the merch now, like, on their website. So yeah, they're supportive about it. So, but we also keep it somewhat separate. Technically, the race program is the Donut Media S14 powered by Knapik Racing. So I take care of any sponsorships and stuff, and talking to product people and all that kind of stuff. So
how many like facelifts and conversions and makeovers did the S14 get to where it is now? Because obviously you've had the S chassis for a very long time with you, so like from day one you're like, yo, I did, like, I mean, we're not gonna call it stages. I hate that terminology. Stage 1, bro. No, we're not gonna do that.
Could be like a never-ending thing, or like evolves to a point where maybe, I don't know, there's not much changes you can do. Is it at that point now where you're like,
or you still feel like you're still growing, like it's still progressing, you're still adding more mods to it?
Well, like this last year, I added like a ton. I told myself I wouldn't go crazy on the off season, and I went insane. Like, I was like, oh well, I was like, well, it'd be cool to do a quick change, and then I was like, well, if I do a quick change, I need a new subframe. If I do a new that, I need to get new axles. And I was like, well, I can't use a stock fuel tank, so now I have to get a fuel cell system.
Yep.
And now I want to redo my cooling system. So we actually like redid the entire car. We even I changed all of my suspension. WiseFab changed to, instead of a rear steer kit, meaning that the steering rack sits like behind the front subframe, to
What's
a front,
the major
like
difference
E36, E46.
Oh, okay. So how does that feel driving now? Is it a massive driving change?
Yeah, it feels way different. It's smoother. It doesn't want to bind. And then technically, it's easier to, like, when the car's at lock, like, it's easier to pull that top portion of the knuckle than to push it away. So it's smoother on the wheel. It's better on the rack and all that kind of stuff. So it is much nicer. I really like their new kit.
Damn, that's actually a super sick kit. I actually we didn't even see that kit. We're looking for stuff for your parts when we signed on WiseFab. I was like, yo, maybe we can get WiseFab to send us a couple of parts for us to 3D scan, but let them send us parts for cars that we actually own, so then once we finish scanning them for the game, we can just install it into one of our cars. I was trying to like, yo, yeah, exactly. Hey man, best parts are free, bro.
Ain't nothing better than free parts.
Yes,
Yeah, dude, I wanted to talk to you a little about pro spec and, actually being behind the wheel. The day you're there, you sat down, you're about to compete. What goes to your head? Is there something you do to like calm yourself down? Because every time I'm at the track, even though I'm doing nothing, just messing around, I'm still like sweating bullets. I'm still nervous as first few laps, and then it's like, all right, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it seems to always be different. It's not like I'm listening to music or that I've got some sort of ritual or anything. It's kind of like, go out there and like, most of the pressure I feel is like, I don't want to mess this up for the team. If I go up and wad it up, it's like I bring out all the dudes, they're over here, and now I got to make them work in this heat, So it's just trying to like understand that like no matter what, you're gonna either get nervous or have your heartbeat's gonna go up no matter what. And so a lot of times, like in the beginning when I started, when I would feel that, I would associate that with like anxiety or just being nervous. But when you're like excited at the same time, your heart's also going. And so it is somewhat adrenaline. So if you just like channel that in and be like, hey, like your heart's going to be racing. You're not going to be able to calm this down. Just go out there and, have some fun, do what you need to do kind of thing. So it's easy when the car's running right. The hardest part with pro spec is, and even and pro period, the cars are so strung out that it's like, and if you're on a small budget, just stuff is always going wrong or you're chasing your tail. So that's the hardest part. Like if I could just get in, drive, gas and tires, that'd be the dream. But
it's never just that. So,
I mean,
why didn't we bring the third spare motor? Yeah. We needed the third one.
Is that like one of the biggest setbacks or challenges when competing with stuff breaking? That's pretty much it, other than tires and gas.
Yeah, stuff breaking, and then needing to be able to change it like on the spot, or you only got 5 minutes to fix something in competition, so you got to also engineer the car around that kind of thought process. So, and as far as like what's really tough is we don't get a lot of seat time. Like we'll probably, before you see us qualify, that's probably 8 laps total.
Do you have a demo car as well though?
No, I don't. I just
damn. So it's even more like you got like that's even more riskier. So like in practice that you're driving the pro car, it's like shit, dude. Yeah. Damn, dude, that's a lot of pressure, dude. Like I think for sure if you got like a demo car, I felt like you would send it way harder, at least
in practice.
Yeah, in practice and stuff like that. Yeah, and then really like learn the max the car can actually take, but I would find it so difficult to wrap my head around driving my pro car in practice that just like.
But at the same time, you want to practice.
But at the same time, you're like, I don't get that much seat time. Yeah, I don't live in this state. Like, I'm not gonna run this track until maybe next year. So it's like you just gotta deal with what you gotta deal with, I guess.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Make laps in. Do you have like a favorite Formula Drift moment from over the years?
From FD, I'd say probably I've got tons of like stories that are funny now. But like an actual highlight was at Irwindale in 2021, if I remember right.
Yep.
So I took 2020 off, and then I came back for 2020 for half the season. And it was just funny because like I took 1 year off, and all of a sudden I come back and half the field is different. I'm like, what the hell? And then
I've been scammed.
So the first round was in St. Louis. Do too well.
Yep.
I was just getting my feet wet again. And then the next one was in Irwindale over here, and ended up doing like really well. We qualified high. I forgot exactly where, but we ended up getting 4th overall, and I was stoked on that. It was just funny because like people are like, who the hell is this guy? Like,
oh yeah, because you were gone for like a year and a little bit. Yeah, comes out of nowhere.
We messed up all of the points. Like, what the hell is your problem? And so I don't know. I thought that was cool. That was fun, and it kind of gave me that confidence back, where it's like, I can do this as long as the car is running well or whatever. So that was fun. It was cool. And then it was actually, so back then, that was when I had my own livery that I designed. And it was a BRE knockoff, so to speak.
Okay,
But I did it all in chrome. And it was kind of just paying homage to like the Nissan heritage, but also chrome, but like a little different, it's drifting, etc.
Yeah.
And so that was when I like first started working at Donut. And I remember like on the way to Irwindale, or like home rather, to get ready for Irwindale.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, I texted my boss, like, is it cool if I put the Donut sticker like on the car? And he wrote back, yeah, but we can't pay you. I was like, that's cool, man. There's no worries. So I went home. I've got a plotter, and I made a Donut sticker, and I put Race Division underneath it.
Yeah.
And then put it on the car. And then the guys happened to come down, and like I said, we got 4th, which was still pretty good. I think anything above top 16 in drifting is usually like worth mentioning.
100%.
And so like everyone's stoked on it, and I was like, this is great. And so I think that's what kind of got a lot of people hyped up on just doing it.
Did you go back and was like, yo, you gotta pay me for that sticker now, bro? You can't pay me Let's get hit with that that 4th overall tax, dude.
No, that's awesome, man.
So, what was like the one memory that you remember that was just like unpleasant? Whether it was FD, whether it was at Donut, and it's just like everything's just going bad, worse and worse now, and it's out of your control.
Man, I don't know. I've had a real bad luck since we started FD. Between blowing motors and just broken random parts or just weird stuff. But like, I guess so. Like this year is the freshest one I could think of. Like, I put all this time, effort, money, make it to Atlanta. Super stoked. I love this track. I'm like certain the car is good. I'm like stoked. I'm like, this is gonna be my year.
Yeah.
And then like we go through practice, and car feels like kind of down on power, but also we're getting used to like the new Vortex supercharger. Yeah. And so that kind of like spools up.
Yeah.
And then like, okay, and then qualifying starts, and literally I'm in the burnout box warming up my tires.
Yep.
And as I'm doing the burnout straight coming towards the line, my motor pops.
No.
And like not like to oblivion, but all of a sudden it just sounds bad. And I could barely keep it from dying. I have to like keep hitting the throttle.
Yeah.
And so
you're driving on like 2 cylinders probably.
Yeah. Well, it turns out I was driving on 7. And so the guy at the line is like, yo, is your car okay? I'm like, yeah, man, it's fine. But I have to go like right now. Like right now. And so he's like, all right, go for it. And so I went, tried to make like try pass, and we ended up like straightening out a little, and so we didn't make it. I pulled the car back into the pits, so I'm like, all right, a plug went out, something dumb, and like they're going through all the spark plugs, and wouldn't you know it, of course, like the very last plug.
Oh, like, I'm right by the firewall.
And he's like, yo, this one is not coming out easy, man.
Oh,
I was like, well, whatever. keep going. So we're taking it out, and it's like just hammered.
Oh,
max.
dude.
And it was like, and for a sec, I just had to like breathe and just kind of like be like, all right, that sucks. You know, like.
Woosah.
That would like the travel from LA to Atlanta is not even a short. It's not even like, oh, we're just gonna go to Vegas. You know, it's like, okay, it's like you gotta like, dude, it's so far to get there, dude. That and did you guys have any spares?
You end up paying so we don't have a spare motor, so that's what like really sucked. And this year we were like really tight on budget because a lot of sponsors kind of didn't want to invest because they were uncertain of how this year would go.
Yeah.
And they always excuse, but it just seemed like they were like more aggressive this year with it.
Yeah.
And so I was already like, man, like I can't survive anything that's going to happen. So like kind of like initially I was thinking that. And so then I was like, all right, well, all the guys, let's, you know, get it back to the pit, take a look. We took it apart, found a valve that popped off, like broke off by the head. And around and got shoved back into the chamber of the head. So which is kind of lucky because it didn't bounce around and score the cylinder block or anything. So it was the best of the worst case scenario, but
best of the worst.
Yeah, and so that's an LSX motor, like a full crate G, $15,000 motor, and so
expensive.
Like.
That's cheap. That's cheap for today too. Actually, that's $15K 2 years ago money, which was like the standard pricing. I get. There's no such thing as standard pricing.
And so then after that, we had to rebuild the whole motor. So now it's like a fully built, blueprinted LSX motor, and that was not cheap, but it's been running good.
Well, at least it's an LS. That's all we can say. Like you're like as reliable as you can like be. You know, in the sport that you're in, I feel. Yeah,
for sure. So that was one of the horror stories.
Yeah. So, like, as you progressed in your role with Donut Media, what's kind of like the next progression, really? Like, do you really know? Like, I mean, every time when you start out as just the garage manager, moving into all this new roles, like the producer and or whatnot, is this just something that they just offer to you, or you're just like, hey, like, I love working with you guys. I want to do more. Like, what can I do? Like, what's your future with them looking like?
Well, I hope it's because I love working there. It's great. But kind of what happened was I was, you know, building out the shop, getting all that stuff. And then I have like a good amount of experience with like buying and selling cars, selling aftermarket parts, wrenching and working on cars. Want to do the build, they would be like, "Oh, we want to do this," and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I could facilitate that." Took it upon myself, and it was a ton more work. You know, I wanted to grow, and so sooner or later, like when they're like, "Okay, we're gonna change your position." In the future, I think like for now, like what I do is I'll do hands-on work. I'll help like while we're building the car. The parts, all that stuff, but kind of like the background work, like keeping up with the cars and maintenance stuff. We have a shop PA for that rate that's taken a lot off my plate, so I could like focus on new builds and talking to partner. I just hope that kind of keeps going. And if I'm honest, I've kind of like tried to interject myself into some of this. Just because we all know a social media presence is key when you're trying to build a program. So might as well attach myself.
Is it any car? Is it any car that you're like, I'm gonna present this to Donut and I really hope they build this?
Yes and no. Like, so the E36 we have is like near and dear to my heart because that's kind of why I got the job there. We used it as a rally car. And now it's come full circle, not even full circle, just another life. It's a drift car now. That was really cool. Like that one was super cool. Civic that we got, that one, they wanted to do some.
Bro, that engine, oh, bro, you need like we have an EK right now, dude. You need that motor, bro. Like they put the, I think they don't quote me.
K20A.
Yeah, K20A. Yeah. I think the title was like we dropped the 10K engine into like a $500 Civic.
K-Series EK is
crazy.
The best thing in the world.
I want to send when this video ends, I want to send you this video. You know that guy that runs the Nürburgring, Misha? And he's he's a YouTuber, and he does like a lot of like Nürburgring content. He test drives like subscribers like K20EK, and dude's flying. He's like, yo, is this 6th gear? Goes into 6. He's going like 300 kilometers in a Civic, and he's like going neck to neck with like an M2 built by Team Schrumer, and it was just like
I've seen that.
Yeah, that one. That thing was bro, and there was a scene where bro, and the fact that he's driving someone else's car like that, dude, I can't imagine like how he is in like a car that he's like 100% comfortable with. That dude must be like a weapon. Crazy. Yeah.
Dude, K Honda motors are the truth.
Dude.
They're dope.
Yeah.
Aren't they like
great?
When they co-built with Yamaha?
I don't know my Hondas that well, so I gotta fact check that.
I think it was like the K series, the Toyota 4Age, and the JZs like co-partnered with Yamaha. You know, they make high revving motors on bikes and stuff. So
really
they make everything. They make keyboards, fridges.
Yeah,
you know, like
pianos, washing machine.
I mean, like,
there's like we run the world.
Do you jam like games much? Racing games or like Simrig, Assetto Corsa maybe? Do you do much of that for practice? No. Some people,
like when I was at Porsche, they had like a room that had sim rigs that was like for customers and stuff. So if there was no customers or we had an off session, I'd go like try it out. It was never any drifts like stuff. It was all just like time attack. Stuff.
Yeah.
But like I don't have a rig. I would like one, that'd be cool, but I don't like really have a place to put it as well. The wife think it doesn't go well with my decor. But like, I don't know, babe. It's sick. But, trying to sell her on that because it would be great to just keep that like muscle memory alive, and you know, it's like I could just hop in. I don't have to drive to a track.
Yeah.
And you know, mess around a little, but I kind of like
maybe that's how you sell it to her.
Like I don't have. Yeah, I do.
Like, are we home more?
Cool. It's cool, babe.
Yeah. I'll be safer.
But the sim stuff doesn't get to me too much because like there's no like fear of death. You know,
yeah.
Like, it's just it doesn't give me that same like adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. And maybe I haven't done it enough, and maybe people get that. So
yeah, I feel like
there's no G-force.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
I feel like the only benefit I can see maybe anyone getting benefit of it would be like muscle memory in terms of how you're viewing the racetrack. But maybe that's really much it. Like I don't like how many turns are there in some of these tracks, like 2, 3, 4, 6. Like if it's time attacking, you got like there's like 30 turns. Okay, cool. Like this sim would make sense because you would kind of want to know
memorize the
track and stuff. That's makes total sense. But like I can't really see it like helping you in your drifting career. I just see it more as like a form of entertainment.
I think when you're starting off, it'll be helpful for you.
Yeah, if you like don't know how to drive manual.
It keeps you sharp, like you said, it gives that muscle memory. So because in drifting, there's so much going on. You got the 3 pedals and the wheel and the handbrake, and you got to time all that. And now with all the left foot braking, that's how you drive them. So like there's so much constantly that like you just might mess up and grab the shifter instead of like if you're not doing it enough. I don't know. All that kind of stuff. So.
For sure.
Super random question. Do you run a pedal box in the 14? Or is it?
No, it's a factory pedals. So actually the Pro Spec guys, we have to run factory.
Oh, I see.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Why is that ruled like that?
So they've got the factory pedal box has to be used in the factory steering column. And so Kevin, the racing director, his kind of like thought process behind it that like if it's all stock, don't have to do anything. So you shouldn't have to. That shouldn't be something that gets in your way to like finish the car.
Yeah, and so, that's very true.
Like, and so that does make sense, and I'm all for that. I dig it. What I didn't like was that they like when they implemented it, anybody who was running an aftermarket like pedal box and steering column, like
they will avoid it.
No, you have to put it in. You can't be grandfathered in. Yeah. So And then if you do, you also, if you keep it this year, you're docked points. So you're allowed to kind of have
okay.
it. You'll still pass tech, but I don't know. I just don't. I don't see it as a major advantage. And we
Yeah.
literally signed a petition, all of us, and gave it to FD, and we're like, hey, like, none of us care. Let them run the box. That's
Yeah.
fine. New drivers, yeah, like, you got to build a car to the new rules. That's just how it is. But
Yeah.
don't penalize the guys that like now literally have to do exactly what you told them not to do by working on a car instead of driving it.
Yeah.
And literally for something that's less safe.
Yeah, exactly. Correct.
So
I'm glad that actually that you guys did petition for that, because I thought like you guys just kind of left it as is, and it's just like, some people benefit, some people don't. It is what it is. I mean, but going back to you were saying, you know, you kind of like to have data and all that kind of stuff. That's the reason why I'm big on time attack, is because, like, you know, the timer doesn't lie, you know. But
right.
how do you feel about the FD situation where it's just, do you feel it's obviously it's heavily judge based? Like, is there any data and math that you can take away from that and being like, no, I technically should have won because technically I was on this angle for 69 degrees for longer than this dude, and so I should have won? Like, is there any sort of like technicality, or is it just purely from the judges and an entertainment standpoint of view?
In the end, it's a purely entertainment thing, right? Obviously, you could tell different rates of angle and all that kind of stuff, but everyone has different driving styles. Everyone likes different driving styles, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, it is what it is. You gotta like, especially when you compete in the sport, you gotta understand, hey, like, sometimes it's just not going to go your way. And it's easy to say right now, like, oh, just be okay with it. But at the time, you get pretty pissed off. So, but I mean, to be fair, like, it goes back to, it's a team effort. So like, you've got the spotter up in the stands, to the judges. And his is to be watching any inconsistencies of the other driver or inconsistencies of like how they're judging. So if he could file a protest and then possibly he could get turned over or whatever. So that's kind of part of his job. So there are like rules, obviously, but it's not like a hard number. Is what I really like that. Because it doesn't really likes you or not. Like, if you're faster, you're faster. Tough shit. You know, like, sorry.
Surely technology is going to get to the point where we advance enough to like have some sort of like, I don't know, some camera with some sort of like thing to just calculate angle, and whether we are basing it on the degree of angle or proximity from car, or where, you know, because there's a lot of sides of it. Some people like to drift like tandem and they want to be really, really close to each other, and they consider that as being better, and some people consider having more angle as being better. So it's really subjective, I feel.
I think honestly it needs to stay somewhat subjective in a sense.
It
like,
does too, though. Yeah,
it's a like spectacle sport.
It is.
It doesn't matter like who you are. If you see a car about to crash, smoke massive tires and making a bunch of noise, I have not met a single person that was like him. Like, you could take,
that's very true.
You could take kids, you could take their girlfriend or boyfriend, and if they're not, you could do it. Like, everyone's in the end like, hey, that was pretty sweet. They don't even need to.
That's very true. Yeah, we just went to like a open drift day with like a bunch of coworkers that I've just never been to. I've never seen really anyone drifting or anything, so we took a couple of staff to like an open drift day, and even they were really excited about it. And then some of the cars are like definitely not it, but like it was still a sight for them to see.
That's super exciting. It's super exciting to watch. I mean, you know, when you watch like circuit racing, it's exciting when they go past you, and then but with drifting, it's like all in one style.
I feel like circuit racing for me is just even more exciting as a driver, though, because like you finish, you come out your session, you look at the times, like I shaved like a second off, and I'm like, you know, a third of a millisecond off from like becoming like top 3 or something like that. You know what I mean? You got like data to look back on. So like when you go out again, you're just that competitiveness. You're just like, you know, it keeps growing and growing and growing until like the end of the day, and you're like, I didn't get to where I wanted or whatever.
Did the sun just set for you guys? I think.
Can you see it?
Bro.
It's getting dark like really quickly. Let me turn the light on. So
you go for that.
Boop. There you go. Oy.
There we go.
Yo, that's actually weird. It started getting really dark over there. It's what is it like 8 o'clock over there now?
7:30.
Oh yeah, 7:30. Oh yeah, it was like getting dark soon.
It starts getting dark, but like I got the shades like pulled closed as well. So.
Oh yeah, fire. How do you handle like your setbacks and stuff? Whether that's in FD during competition or just any setbacks that you had with any builds and donut media, like. Do you just like call on the A team and like, yep, we just need a bunch more resources and more hands, or like, obviously every case by case is really different, but what do you really do? Like, how do you handle it? Like,
you gotta take it with stride and be like, all right, I try not to be the person that's like dwelling on an issue.
Yeah.
Where I always feel like there's always a possibility to fix it.
Yeah.
If something goes wrong, sometimes like just step back and just do nothing and just okay.
And you just like. Start spiraling, you end up, whether you get mad or you get frustrated, then you're putting that energy onto your team as well too, and then now they're getting like frustrated too with you. It's just like I think that's a really good method to have, just like take a step back, see what we can fix, and plan like a logistical step by step where to from here and how we're gonna get out of this. I think that's a super good mentality.
That really well for me and the team also. So like, in this, as far as like on the race team, like I'm not yelling at them. I'm not going to get pissed off at them. Even if they did make a mistake, like it happens, like it's kind of part of it. Am I probably upset? Yeah. But like that attitude, like, I don't pay my guys. They're just my buddies. I pay for their flights and accommodations and food and all that. I try to make it as easy as I can for them, but they're still taking time off work.
Yeah.
They don't need to be here. So like,
exactly.
What am I going to say?
What am I going to do? You're fired. I wasn't working for you. Get out of my life. Totally, man. Definitely feeling on that.
Step back and look at it and make a plan.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you see the future of FD and the drifting culture? Because it's obviously growing year after year. There's a lot more people coming. There's a lot more viewers as well. A lot more people taking up the drift culture, both in bad and good. We've been seeing there's a lot of street takeovers and stuff, so that's obviously the bad side. But there's also a lot of good ones too. Like we're now seeing a lot of like open drift days where, even for us, like we only ever see open time attack days.
Well,
like
another thing we see now is drift academies, drift schools.
Drift
there's heaps
schools.
of those.
Yeah. That must be a definitely new business and stuff. Like, how do you feel about this whole drifting culture moving forward? Like, you think we're gonna turn around? You think the street takeover is gonna die out, and the pro side of things is gonna make it a lot more like an established sport? Or how do you feel?
I think so. Like, I don't think the street takeovers will ever go away. Like, people being jerks behind the cars just doesn't go away. That doesn't matter how good.
It's just now it's documented
gets.
on TikTok. And stuff.
Now it's documented, and I hate that they associate that with drifting, which sucks. Don't even want to put in the same realm.
Yeah.
But as far as like where I see drifting going, I think it's like some people hate it. I love it. I like that it's getting more commercialized.
Yep.
That it's getting more money. I like that. That's cool. Like, that's what I want to do. That's what I want the cars to be crazy. I want them to be and then you got brands like Toyota and like AutoZone and Ford coming out and putting money into it. So I think it's super cool. Like, for being such a young sport and, we're still kind of like thinking of everything. It's great to see that kind of progression. So I love that. I love where that's going. Just keep that up. I love that. But
100%.
On the other end, like the people that hate on it is kind of like, it's the same ball. Like, if you like street ball, go play street ball. But you're not going to bash on the NBA guys.
Yeah, exactly.
So so it's kind of like what I do like right now is for a while there was a void because it went from like beater cars to like kind of pro-am, and then it went like pro, and it was like really big leaps and bounds. And the thing is, the fact that drifting's so big that now on media people have so many followers that they can now monetize that, and they could build slammed lift out cars, just super steez, and they may not be making tons of money, But they're able to do that because drifting, the competitive side, is making it so mainstream.
Correct.
So what I like, I want that grassrootsness to come back. Like, give me the slurs, give me the big lips, like, put that 2J in there. Let's get an SR. Like, that's super cool. I like that it's kind of like coming back around. And then as like we've always had actually like drift schools here. Well, not always, but for a long time. We've had guys that did some drift schools and stuff. Actually, during COVID, that's what I did for side money. I bought a 240 and like was doing instructing with it to teach people how to like slide a car or control it. So the fact that I was even able to guys in that sense is great also. So
because like if they're wanting to drift,
all for it.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, because it's all lucrative for anyone that's actually involved. I feel like, you know,
it is. Even like, I remember
people renting drift cars now too. Actually, I'm seeing you can rent the drift rent a drift car at the racetrack. Yeah, that's a thing now too. Yeah, it's actually super good. Like, I can't see anything bad from it. Like, you can get literally like, oh, I want to build a drift car, but I don't want to pay too much of it. You can make a business out of it and write a decent amount of it off and hopefully cover most of your costs if you're just, you know, teaching people and stuff, and maybe that might be able to cover all your expenses and you're drifting for free. You know, you get a hobby that you want to getting to do for little to no money. So I feel like the more money that gets like pumped into this industry, it's like the more we get to reap the benefits of that, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great analogy, actually. I never thought of it that way. I mean, if money was no object, though, what would you be whipping around in as a daily and as your pro car if money was no object?
My daily would be a Porsche Panamera Turbo E Hybrid.
Really?
Yeah,
I mean, that's a massive. It's so fast, and that thing's like
they look so cool. I love those cars. When I used to do demo laps in them, it was like the most fun.
Really?
So, and like dude, you could drive that thing to the track and then just whoop on people.
Really?
And then you can drive it back home. Then you could take the kids, like, if you got kids, you could take the kids to school.
Yeah.
You could take your dog in the back. Dude, I love that car.
Dude, so does it have like a wagon style hatch? Is that like, how does the back? Oh, yeah, that's sick. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, it's called their touring model.
Yeah,
it's so sick, and it didn't get popular here because the U.S. hates wagons for whatever reason. But that thing was so sick. And then
how heavy is that thing though?
It's heavy.
But that thing must be heavy. Yeah, like 2 tons.
Probably near that. I'm not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably pretty close to that at least. So because of the batteries and whatever, but.
What about the pro car?
And then as far as like a pro car, I don't know, there's a lot of cool cars, but I always want to be unique as well. And then so I personally always wanted to bring a 911 back to FD.
Dude, that would be so sick. Absolutely.
Get an RWB
still like because it's I still have it rear engine.
Remember back in the day, keep it all Porsche rear engine. Like back in the day, a long time ago, there was the Porsche Hankook Jeep. Do you guys remember? Or the Jeep?
I don't remember it because I wasn't around that time, but I've exposed myself to it via YouTube.
Dude, Google that shit. Everything is so dope. It's a 993, and the irony is I worked on that team. That was the
sick.
And so it was so cool. I actually have a picture of like all of us posted up at Irwindale in front of it, and so like it never did. It did well. It just, back then, drifting was slow. And so that car would accelerate in the drift like crazy. Now that's what the cars do. So I think it might have a fighting shot. I know the motor's in the back. Everyone's going to say it's going to pivot funny and whatever. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, money's no object. So it'd be sick.
You just need driver mod for that one. Yeah. That one's not, you don't need money for that. You just need driver mod once you got the car.
Yeah,
dude, I would love to see
it. I've been trying to build a drift Porsche for like years, and I've been pitching this program to so many people, but turns out it's really expensive.
Yeah,
So if anybody's listening and they want to fund, let me know.
Bro, that needs to be funded ASAP. Like, I mean, like, yes, it's gonna cost a lot of money, but that's so unique. Like, you should just do it anyways.
All right, guys, we're starting a petition for this.
Yeah, we should. I mean, I'm not even trying to build a drift Porsche. I'm just trying to build any Porsche at this moment. You know, like that's really the goal. Just trying to get into like any 964, any 930. You know, even a 997 I'll take. You know, but yeah, dude, like, dude, imagine an RWB drift car.
Oh my.
God, dude.
Hate to see that
Dude.
at the wall.
The tire sponsor's like, how many sets of 365s you need? You said. He's like, you're running 365s of 355 square. It's like, yeah, we're running a wide body RWB Porsche. It's like, what the fuck? We're not gonna sponsor you.
But yeah,
dude.
there's no Porsche like two.
Yeah.
One's got a WRX swap, and then one's got a LS swap, and I wouldn't
yeah.
want to swap it. I want
Nah.
to keep it all Porsche.
Yeah, dude. Just do like a 4.0 10 turbo.
Yeah, that would be
that'd be gangster.
So you guys, I imagine you guys, you know, with the radiator and that in the back of your guys' cars, and I don't know if your S14 set up like that, but like a lot of these pro
It is,
cars,
yeah.
it is, yeah. So and then you're like distributing the weight back, you know, back and forth, but with the engine in the back, and if you do like on the Porsche, if you do an LS, and then now you're like, okay, now we got to put more weight in the back. I don't know, that seems really difficult to get, but would be awesome seeing one of them slide.
Yeah. All right, guys. Dude, thank you so much for your time, Adam. We'll get Rahul to close us up.
Yeah, man. It's been awesome having a chat with you. Everyone watching, thanks for listening, watching, and make sure to also check out Knapik Racing, Donut Media. They're everywhere. We'll check you guys' socials and YouTube channel. Yeah, man. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for watching. Remember, please like, subscribe, do all those things. Thank you so much, guys. We hope to see you guys in the next one, and we love you all.